okay, you're probably here because of my most recent short. I talked about a dude who threw some shade in the comments, and I just like totally was a nice person to him, and he just got even more pissed off because of it. So I'm gonna read everything that he said, and I'm gonna just psychoanalyze this man, and we'll see what happens. Also, we'll count this as like a 100 subscribers special. How about that? Thanks for 100 subs. Okay, so this was a video, a short of two gunships, two Lego gunships, and it's that sound you guys have probably all heard a bunch, or what am I saying? You've probably heard it a billion times. It's the guy and he's like, show me something that you spent way too much money on, but you don't care at all because it's freaking sick. Yeah, so that's the one. Anyways, I've like, up until like 2 days ago, I've never made a short with sound. One of my good buddies on YouTube, Mick Bricks Productions, shout out to my boy. He recommended I do it. So yeah, I tried it out and I just thought, you know what, this is kind of fun, this is kind of cool. You know, let's just test it out, let's see how it goes. So, this is public information, so I don't really feel bad saying this dude's username. Chris Mudd. Alright, Chris, let's see what you have to say. So, I show the gunships, right? I said I spent too much money on them. Probably did. I definitely did. Who am I kidding? He says, no one cares. I reply several hours later, because he replied in the dead of night when I was snoozing. And I say to him, let's take a look. We have quite the conversation here. There's about 7 messages. So, I say, ha ha, ha ha ha. Then why'd you care enough to watch it and comment, my man? So I actually thought it was really funny. I was being like playful. I did not mean it to be like starting any crap, you know. He says to me, and I have to click read more to read this. It says, shorts made me watch it. Absolutely not my choice at all. And if it makes you feel any better, I ended it 2 seconds in. Sorry, no. He says, I ended it after the first 2 seconds of cringe. I commented because someone needs to tell you to grow up and be constructive with your life. Good luck. Wow, so I read that and I was like, dude, he's pissed. Why is he getting so mad? So I was like, bro, this is hilarious. I gotta like keep talking to this guy. I showed this to my wife and she was like, do not like antagonize this man. Don't rile him up. He's riled up enough already. So I was like, yeah, I'm just being nice. I'm just being a good guy, you know? I mean, where's the harm? I said, dude, I am honestly so happy right now. Thanks so much for being my first hater on YouTube. I've always wanted to experience this, and I can't thank you enough for making it happen. Love you. And you know, that's true. I mean, spread the love, you know? I mean, I'm not saying I'm in love with this person romantically. I'm just like, you know, a little bit of love, toss it up here and there, take it or leave it, whatever, Chris Mudd. I'm not your mom. You can do whatever you want. So, this man writes me a Harry Potter book. My goodness. And he says, don't thank me yet. You take and label it... You take and label it as hate. Because anything that differs from your sensitive sense of reality, you look at through a narrow lens, assuming it is hate. Can we just like talk about that sentence for a sentence? Can we talk about that sentence for a second? My man says, you take and label it as hate because anything that differs from your sensitive sense of reality, you look at through a narrow lens, assuming it as hate. I'm not like a grammar teacher, but like, what does that even mean? I guess he's trying to say that like I'm a sensitive person, I have a narrow scope of view, and like him saying who cares, I like was too sensitive about it and said he hated it. I mean, he said who cares? I mean, maybe he likes it. Maybe he was saying who cares? I do. I don't know. And he also said it was 2 seconds of cringe. So I mean, Doesn't that imply that he hates it? I don't understand. Okay, let's keep going. I don't yet. I don't know you well enough to hate you, and you don't seem worth the energy. Ouch, that's probably true. I mean, but he's doing it anyways, right? I mean, you're not worth the energy. You guys ever think about, like, you guys ever, like, talk about those people or talk with those people and they're like, you know what? You're just not worth the energy. But, like, they're taking the time to tell you that you're not worth the energy. It's like, I mean, talk about the most counterproductive thing you could do. If someone really wasn't worth the energy, like, just shut up and, like, go home. I mean, like, go home to your family, your dog. I mean, just go home, hang out, have a good time, you know? I mean, there's no need to just say, I digress. Let's keep going. It's constructive criticism. Constructive criticism. Let's look up the definition of constructive criticism. Okay. Constructive criticism is a form of feedback that focuses on delivering critique and negative feedback constructively and positively to improve performance or behavior. Constructive criticism is actionable, clear, and beneficial to the recipient. It does not focus solely on negative aspects. Let's take a look at my boy's constructive criticism, shall we? Shorts made me watch it. I ended it after the first 2 seconds of cringe. There's the obvious one, no one cares. I made an error, by the way, in my speech, in my tongue of speech. He didn't say who cares. He said no one cares. So it wasn't an arbitrary, like, you know, a rhetorical question that maybe somebody could potentially care. He said no one cares. Someone needs to tell you to grow up and be constructive with your life. Good luck. Okay, I can kind of see that one. Grow up and be constructive with your life. It's harsh. I mean, you could kind of see it being portrayed in a negative light because it's supposed to be negative feedback, right? But given constructively and positively to I don't even know what I was talking about. It's supposed to be given positively to improve performance or behavior. Oh crap, that's my chicken. It's my chicken nuggets. I thought I'd show you guys what I made for dinner so that in case Chris Mudd is watching this, he can see that I'm constructively living my life. So I have this chicken andouille sausage mixed with apple in a casing, and we've got some rigatoni pasta in here. We've got a cream-based pasta sauce, and we have some chicken tenders here that are marinated and pan-seared and seasoned. So I'm just gonna chop those up and throw them in here. Add some Parmesan cheese, and we're gonna have ourselves a delicious Cajun Creole pasta with chicken andouille sausage with apple. So take that, Chris Mudd. I'm making some pasta. What are you doing tonight, Chris Mudd? Ooh. That Cajun Alfredo needs to sit for 30 minutes, so we got time. I still got time. All right, let's dive back into it. So we were talking about this hater on YouTube, and we were talking about constructive criticism, okay? Let's go back here. So he says, if you want to be entertaining, make decent content for a wider audience. Unless, okay, hang on. Before I gotta just address this. So, in my career, professionally, I have about 5 years of marketing experience with large business, like multi-billion-dollar businesses. Not to say I'm rich, I'm not. I'm just a grunt. But I've worked for very, very large companies. And let me tell you, this is not true. I mean, you should make decent content. Yes, you should. but it's not about a wider audience. It's about finding your niche, okay? Niche, whatever the pronunciation is, I don't really care. You're supposed to find your niche. And once you do find it and increase your skill level, then you can start to grow, okay? Because a niche, the point of a niche is it's not for everyone, okay? If I make a YouTube video, people aren't gonna like it, okay? If I make a YouTube video if I make a YouTube video, some people are gonna like it, okay? That's just how it works. Now, the number of viewership and subscribers you have is gonna vary, right? Because this all depends on YouTube's algorithm, and it's very complicated, right? I mean, just because your video doesn't have a ton of views doesn't necessarily mean it's not a bad video, right? I mean, YouTube's algorithm, for whatever reason, chose not to put your video in front of others. And so, I mean, they do have very smart AI. I'm not bashing on Google at all. I just think that they kind of have developed something where you have to really be consistent and be a long-time player in order for your stuff to show up in the future. Dang, I should like charge you guys a consultancy fee. So the fact that he just said you should be, if you want to be entertaining, make decent content for a wider audience. I mean, that's like the opposite of the truth, right? Making decent content, yes, you should. You should strive to, and I'm trying to. You know, I've had this channel for like 4 weeks now, 4.5 weeks. So, I mean, we're trying. Yeah, this is the first channel I've ever made that's just only me. So yeah, just trying to figure it out. So yeah, I appreciate that. You know, make decent content. Yep, that's good advice. It actually reminds me of something. So I lived for a while in Honduras, and for those of you who don't know, Honduras is a Latin American country. It's in Central America. Okay, so Central America is a very impoverished place, and they really only speak Spanish or like some dialects of ancient Mayan cultures. So in Honduras, I was speaking Spanish for the most part. There were some very specific languages that I learned a few words, but I didn't really use them. I mostly just spoke Spanish, okay? Honduran Spanish. So when I was learning Spanish, I was having a conversation with a native Hispanic speaker, right? So this guy, he spoke Spanish the same way that you and I probably speak English. I mean, I'm assuming you're speaking English because I'm speaking in English and you wouldn't be able to understand this if you don't. So his native tongue is Spanish, right? So I'm a few months into the Spanish learning process. Haven't spoken a word of Spanish since before I went down there to live. I'm looking for some constructive criticism. What we're talking about right here, okay? And I asked this guy, after we have a full conversation, you know, he and I were talking back and forth, shooting the, and I look at him and I say, hey man, look, I really want to get better. Is there anything that you can tell me that could help me to improve my Spanish speaking? What can I do to help me with, you know, practicing? How can I get better? I'll do anything you say, right? Because he knows Spanish, right? So this dude looks me in the eye and he says this. Well, my suggestion for you would be to learn more Spanish. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll just do that. You know, that's really good. Good idea. Why didn't I think? Why didn't I, think of that? You know what? So the reason I share this story is because when he says that line, if you want to be entertaining, make decent content. I mean, what? Thank you. You know what? You're right. This has been constructive criticism. You know what? I figured it out. I'm Mr. Beast now. Okay, this is the part I cut off at. So after he says, make decent content for a wider audience, this is the next part. He says, unless the only audience you are after is lonely boys who spend too much money on toys to ever move out of home. So first of all, I just gotta roast him. Grammatical, I know. He used the wrong to. I mean, it's kindergarten. Come on, man. If you're gonna insult somebody, at least do it right. I mean, that's what Mike Wazowski always said. So, the audience is lonely boys who spend too much money on toys. You know, that's fair. I don't think that that's an insult because Legos, I mean, they are toys, right? I mean, they're toy building blocks, interlocking bricks. The thing that's so cool about them, though, is you can do a lot of stuff with them. So it's basically like modeling, you know, but like you don't have to paint it. And I hate painting. And like you can do crazy stuff with Lego, and it's crazy because it's just like blocks. I mean, I don't know what it is, but like just you interlock those pieces and you're just like, wow, that was nice. In fact, I was just building the bonsai tree. Maybe you saw the video. I got my wife the bonsai tree the other day, and it was her first Lego set she's ever put together in her whole life. And she just was like, wow, this is so awesome. What have I been missing out on? I don't know. And she like built more than half of it. I mean, it's a pretty large set, and it's kind of hard because like all the pieces are brown, so you can't really tell where they go. And it was nighttime when we started. So, I mean, people like Lego, right? It's a toy, sure. It's also like a modeling tool. It's something you can display. It's an accurate depiction of something you like. That's why I like Legos, because like I love Star Wars. Always loved it. It's awesome. So yeah, ever since I was a little kid, I got my very first Lego set was the V-Wing that came out way back when, like 2004 or 2005 or something. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. And yeah, it was awesome. I was hooked from there. I got my parents to buy me way too much Lego, and yeah, I don't know. It's just that the way that he put toys, it's like, you know, it's an insult, you know? So there's nothing constructive about this criticism. It's just insulting. So, I mean, why would he even pull that card? The next thing is lonely boys. So they spend too much money on toys to ever move out of home. So I guess I better tell my wife that I got to move out of our home now. I got to be a big boy and leave her and live on my own, because that's what big boys do. I guess I better do that, huh? Huh, Chris Mudd? Huh? Yeah, that's what I guess I better do that, huh? Yeah, better just go ahead and just leave my wife and go live on my own, live at home, be a big boy. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Good one, Chris Mudd. Yeah, so, I mean, that was just a stupid assumption, right? I mean, people like things. People have hobbies. You know, I mean, just because someone's hobby is, you know, a Lego set, who cares? I mean, I got one right here. Let's do it. Are you seeing this thing? No little kid is gonna put that together. It even says on the front, it says 18 plus right here, Chris Mudd. You can just go to sleep, buddy. That's all I know. Okay. All right. Well, we got that part of the way out of the way. By the way, I'm gonna make a separate video on this. I think I said I would do this already. Haven't gotten around to it yet. But I ordered that Mos Eisley box from StockX. You saw how terrible it was. They like smashed it up. There wasn't any bubble wrap or anything in there. They just put it in a box that was way too big to move that Mos Eisley set. And it got like scrunched up. And I called them and I was like, yo, this is ridiculous. I want my money back. And they were like, yeah, we can give you $50 credit to StockX. Yes, on your next purchase, we can certainly do that for you. And the reason I wanted to buy this thing is because it was at such a discount. It's like I'm not going to find that discount anymore because this thing goes for like $450 right now. So I mean, I bought this thing for like $280 on StockX. I was like, oh man, yeah, I'm going to do that. So if I would have like sent it back, right? I mean, they give me my money back. I wouldn't have gotten the $50 then. So I would have just got my money back. I wouldn't have been able to afford a new one. Right? So, I mean, I'm stuck with this crappy box now because they didn't want to put any bubble wrap in it. You know, I bet Chris Mudd works at StockX. Is that your day job, Chris Mudd? Do you work at StockX? Actually, I bet you're the guy who shipped me the thing from StockX. Yeah, and you like neglected to you know, put any sort of packaging in the package. You know, you ever think about that one, Mr. Chris Mudd? Okay, moving on here, moving right along here. Okay, so BTW. This is my favorite part of this. Okay, this is nuts. BTW, showing real love is helping someone with something they didn't realize was an issue. Not sarcastic comments. Now you're welcome. Gotta hit him with the grammar thing again. Sorry, it's kindergarten. Just put the right your, Chris Mudd. I mean, you're smart. You got a job at StockX. I mean, come on. So, I mean, because I said love you, right? In my first reply to him. And this is his second reply to me. Well, I guess his third, if you count the no one cares comment. So he says, right? Showing real love, because I said love you, right? This is his backlash